There are mysteries, and then there is MH370. This is, hands down, the single most baffling aviation mystery of our time. We're talking about a massive, modern jumbo jet with 239 people on board that just vanished, gone. This is the story of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370.
Good night, MAS 370. That's it. Those were the last words ever heard from the cockpit. And you know, what's so chilling is just how normal they are. A totally routine, calm sign-off. Absolutely nothing to suggest that anything at all was about to go horribly wrong.
And get this, just 30 seconds later, poof, it just vanished. The plane's transponder went dark, it dropped off civilian radar screens. A 200-ton aircraft was suddenly gone. And in its place, a mystery that, to this day, captivates and frustrates the entire world. Okay, so to really wrap our heads around this, we've got to go back to the very beginning. The date is March 8th, 2014. We're in Kuala Lumpur, and Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 is taking off, headed for Beijing. It's a routine red-eye flight, you know, the kind where people are settling in, thinking about their families, their vacations, their business meetings. And on paper, this flight was as safe as it gets. I mean, we're talking about a Boeing 777, a workhorse of the skies, one of the safest planes ever built. The captain, Zahari Ahmad Shah, was a super experienced senior pilot. His first officer, Farid Hamid, was right there with him. Everything, and I mean everything, pointed to another totally boring, unremarkable journey. And this brings us right to the central, mind-blowing question at the heart of this whole thing. We live in an age of GPS in our pockets, satellites watching our every move. So how does something this massive, this technologically advanced, just disappear from the sky without a trace? It just doesn't make any sense. So naturally, the search teams immediately focused on the most logical place, the South China Sea. That's where the plane was last seen on radar. Makes sense, right? Well, they were looking in completely the wrong place. And the first real clues to emerge, they didn't solve the mystery, they just made it 100 times more complicated. 4 days into the search, the military drops an absolute bombshell. They released their radar data, and it shows the plane hadn't just blinked out of existence. No way. It had made a sharp, deliberate 180-degree turn, flying back over Malaysia and out towards the Strait of Malacca, the complete opposite direction of its destination. This changed everything. Just when it seemed the trail had gone cold again, another shocking piece of evidence surfaced. It turns out, even with its main communication systems off, the plane was still alive. It was sending out these automated pings to a satellite high above. It's kind of like your phone searching for a Wi-Fi signal, you know? These were like digital ghosts, proving the plane was still powered on and flying for hours. Investigators received 7 of these handshakes in total. 7. Each one was another breadcrumb, a faint signal from a ghost ship flying through the night. And the 7th and final ping came in hours after the plane should have landed safely in Beijing. It's just staggering to think it flew for that long after it vanished. Now, by analyzing the timing of these pings, experts could calculate how far the plane was from the satellite, but not its precise location. Think of it like knowing you're 5 miles from a tower, but you could be anywhere on a circle around it. This created what's known as the 7th arc, a massive, curving line across one of the most remote and deepest parts of the southern Indian Ocean, where the plane was believed to have finally run out of fuel. And that one clue kicked off the largest and most expensive deep-sea search in aviation history. For 3 years, teams scoured a vast area of the ocean floor. The cost was immense, the effort was unprecedented, and the result was absolutely nothing. The plane remained lost. With the search yielding no wreckage, the investigation had to pivot. The question wasn't just where the plane could be anymore. The really big question became why it disappeared. And this led everyone into 2 primary schools of thought. Broadly, the theories fall into 2 camps. Was this a deliberate act, a hijacking or mass murder-suicide by someone in the cockpit? Or was it a tragic accident, a catastrophic failure that left the plane flying on autopilot with everyone on board already gone? Man or machine? The evidence for a deliberate act is, honestly, chilling. That sharp turn back towards Malaysia had to be done manually. The flight path then seemed to carefully skirt the border between Malaysian and Thai airspace, a technique that could be used to avoid radar detection. And here's maybe the most damning part. A similar flight path ending in the southern Indian Ocean was found deleted from the captain's home flight simulator. But here's the problem. There's no why. Captain Zahari was a respected senior pilot with a clean record. Investigators scoured his life, his finances, his relationships, his mental health, and found zero red flags, no history of problems, and absolutely no motive for such a horrific act. And this total lack of motive is why many investigators lean towards that second major theory, which has become the most probable scenario, the ghost flight. This theory suggests a horrifying sequence of events that began not with malice, but with a catastrophic failure.
So, the ghost flight theory is terrifying in a whole different way. It starts with a malfunction, maybe an electrical fire, right after that last good night. The pilots, realizing the danger, manually turn the plane back to try for an emergency landing. But before they can do anything else, a sudden depressurization or toxic smoke incapacitates everyone on board. The plane, with its autopilot still engaged, then just flies on for hours and hours until it runs out of fuel and plunges into the ocean. For years, the case went cold. The theories remained just that, theories. But then, years after the official search was called off, a retired aerospace engineer came forward with a potential breakthrough using a completely new kind of technology. It's called WSPR-net. Think of it like a global web of invisible tripwires made of radio signals. When a massive object like a plane flies through this web, it creates a tiny, detectable disturbance. Now, this technology was never designed for tracking planes, but it turns out it could be used for exactly that.
So this aerospace engineer, Richard Godfrey, realized he could analyze years of archived WSPR data from that exact night. By looking for these tiny disturbances, he believed he could actually reconstruct the flight path of MH370 long after it disappeared from every other kind of tracking system. And his analysis led to an absolutely incredible conclusion, a precise, pinpointed crash location. It was right on the 7th arc, where the satellite data predicted it would be, but in a specific spot, a spot lying 4,000 meters beneath the waves, surrounded by underwater cliffs and volcanoes. I mean, the difference this makes is just staggering. The original search covered an area larger than many countries. Godfrey's proposed new search is a tiny fraction of that, a focused radius of just 40 nautical miles. This new data could transform an impossible task into a tangible, achievable mission.
And there's more. Over the years, 27 pieces of MH370 have washed ashore on coastlines around the Indian Ocean. When oceanographers ran drift analysis models, they found that if the plane crashed at Godfrey's proposed location, the ocean currents would have carried the debris to the exact places where it was found. It all fits. So we now have a new target, backed by new technology, and corroborated by physical evidence. The question is no longer, where do we look, but when will we look again? After a decade of dead ends and false hopes, could this new signal from the past finally bring answers to the families and solve the world's greatest aviation mystery? The search may soon be back on,